are very also passionate about, sustainability and about environmental issues as well. How, in your opinion, how are we balancing those, or how can we balance those things when it comes to growing cities like Airdrie?
That's another really, really big question. Again, it's looking at things from holistic approaches, and it's doing things that make sense. So there's a lot of things that we can say that we're doing that are environmentally friendly or sustainable, but they're probably not at the end of the day. One example that comes to mind, I was talking to a gentleman who's in the construction industry, and they were building this big stadium or theater or whatever it was. And they said, they were gold certified, LEED certified. But to get there, they just paid the credits to get there. It's not that they actually did anything sustainable or environmentally friendly. They just paid some money to make it look like they did. And to me, those kind of things should not be allowed. Those are missing the mark 100%. Just because you have extra money to throw at something it doesn't help the problem at all, especially if those funds aren't going back to something that is environmentally sustainable. So really looking at things from a grassroots approach when you're looking at environmental sustainability, food security, food sustainability, like all those things, if you start from the grassroots approach, you're going to have really good success with it. So start with those grassroots movements and have the support from the government to allow those things to happen. Even just growing locally, I know we have a great development going in Airdrie here pretty soon, and it is I think it's actually called an Agrihood. I think there's 3 of them in Alberta, and this will be the 3rd one. And it's all urban agriculture themed. So, you have your pollinator highways, you have permanent orchards and community gardens, and a permanent farmers market set up. So those things really create that sustainable living that, we should be striving a little bit more towards. I think the pandemic really showed us that how vulnerable we are to supply chain issues, to food shortages, all those things. So if we can start growing locally and be able to supply our local restaurants and our local food bank and our local residents here, it takes a whole load of pressure off of us trying to get stuff here. So that was a really long answer, but that was great. There's so many things that we can do, and they're so basic and so simple, and it drives me crazy that we don't do them.
Yeah, well, thank you for advocating for that. And I know you're really big when it comes to supporting local. And I've really found that within the Airdrie community, how everyone is so supportive of their local small business owners. And I think that that's the pride of each community, is the small business owners, because we know sometimes they are the pillars of their communities. And I've always found when I'm in Airdrie, how well connected all the community is with each other, but more importantly, they not just support, but they advocate for their own small business owners. What are you hearing from your small business owners today, now that we're hopefully have the pandemic in our rearview mirror? What are the next steps?
Well, I think a lot of the stuff that I hear, so this is my chance to give a plug to my economic development team at the city. They have been so innovative and creative through the pandemic, and making sure that our small businesses are supported in the way that they need to. So I know we, about halfway through the pandemic, our team started I believe it's called the Right for Your Business program. And basically they went to all the businesses and said, what are you in need of the most right now? Let's give you a $2,000 voucher to achieve that. So if that was marketing, then we matched you up with a marketing professional in the community, and we footed the bill for $2,000 of your marketing plan. Do you need to go over your finances with an accountant? Let's hook you up with that person. So I think we had a lot of success in the community here because of innovative things like that. It wasn't just, okay, here's $500, do whatever you need to do with it. It's like, no, let's target this, and let's make sure that you're getting the support that you truly need right now to survive this pandemic. And now coming out of it, I think there was just such a great movement of shop local, and that happened everywhere. You saw that across the globe. But, we really did a great job of it in Airdrie here. I know we had one of our local graphics companies made up the shop local social distancing t-shirts, which they were great. You saw people roaming around the city in them. But those campaigns, just those continuous shop local campaigns, I know I was working with a lady, I want to say last year, and we started a business scavenger hunt. And basically it was, the whole purpose of it wasn't to promote any products. It wasn't to do that. It was just to get people through the doors, to make sure that everybody knew all the businesses that we had in this community, and went and said hi, just to get that foot traffic through, because that will generate business and it will also generate repeat customers. So, just really championing those kind of initiatives, I think, is what got a lot of our businesses through. And our numbers actually looked pretty good in the community here. So for like business closures and startups, they weren't that far off with non-pandemic years. We saw a bit of a shift from storefront businesses to home-based businesses. But I think that's to be expected. Leasing rates are very, very high in Airdrie here. And that's just a supply issue, right? That's just that there's very low vacancy here. Again, just a whole bunch of things that probably contributed to what I think is we came out of the pandemic maybe more favorable than some other communities. And I think that's directly attributed to our residents and our economic team and our business owners here for just supporting each other.